The space station hung in the darkness between stars like a giant metal flower. Its name was Harmony's Edge, and today it would host the most important meeting in human history. Princess Yuna of the Valerian Empire was coming to talk peace with the humans. Tejo checked his weapon one more time and looked at his team. He was the security chief for this meeting, and he took his job very seriously. The humans had only met the Valerians 5 years ago, and the aliens made it clear they thought humans were not very smart. Tejo did not like that attitude, but he would do his duty. Remember, no sudden moves around the princess, Tejo told his team. The Valerians think we are dangerous animals. Let's prove them wrong by being professional. Minho, his best sniper, nodded from his position near the docking bay windows. Soulmate, their tech expert, was watching all the security screens. Both of them had served with Tejo in the military before they came to work on the space station. Sir, the Valerian ship is coming in now, Soulmate reported. It's beautiful. I've never seen anything like it. Tejo looked out the window and had to agree. The Valerian ship looked like it was made of silver and light. It moved through space without making any sound, and it seemed to dance rather than fly. Human ships were tough and practical, but they looked like metal boxes compared to this. The ship docked with a soft sound like wind chimes. Tejo straightened his uniform and walked to the airlock with his team. Ambassador Deho, the chief human negotiator, was already there with his people. Everyone looked nervous. Remember, Ambassador Deho said quietly, the Valerians believe they are better than us. They think we are like smart animals. We need this peace treaty, so be polite no matter what they say. The airlock opened with a hiss. The first person to come out was a tall woman with pale blue skin and silver hair. Her clothes looked like they were made of starlight. This was Princess Yuna, and she was the most beautiful creature Tejo had ever seen. Behind her came more Valerians. All of them had the same pale blue skin and silver hair. Their eyes were different colors, purple, gold, green, and they seemed to glow softly. They moved like they were floating instead of walking. Welcome to Harmony's Edge, Your Highness, Ambassador Deho said with a bow. We are honored to have you here. Princess Yuna looked at the humans with curious purple eyes. When she spoke, her voice was like music. Thank you, Ambassador. We hope these talks will help our peoples understand each other better. Tejo noticed that she spoke perfect human language, but there was something strange about the way she said the words. It was like she was thinking in a different language and translating as she spoke. The group began walking toward the main conference room. Tejo and his team stayed close, but not too close. The Valerians had their own guards too, tall, silent figures with golden eyes who seemed to see everything at once. As they walked through the station corridors, Princess Yuna looked around with interest. She seemed surprised by how clean and organized everything was. Tejo wondered what she had expected. Maybe the Valerians really did think humans lived like animals. They were halfway to the conference room when the alarm started. Security alert, Somin's voice came through Tejo's earpiece. Small drone, probably a protest bot. It got past the outer sensors somehow. Tejo could see the drone now, a small flying machine with flashing lights and a loudspeaker. It was heading straight for the group of diplomats. Valerians go home, the drone was shouting. No deals with alien invaders. Some humans on the station did not want peace with the Valerians. They thought the aliens would try to control Earth. Tejo understood their fears, but this was not the time or place for protests. The drone was moving fast and might hit someone. Without thinking, Tejo jumped forward and pushed Princess Yuna to the side, away from danger. His hand touched her arm as he guided her behind a support beam. The moment their skin touched, something impossible happened. Princess Yuna froze completely. Her purple eyes went wide and her mouth opened in shock. She stared at Tejo like she had seen a ghost. Her whole body began to shake. Your Highness, one of her guards said, moving closer. Are you hurt? But Princess Yuna did not answer. She just kept staring at Tejo with those wide purple eyes. Something was very wrong. Tejo felt strange too. Where their skin had touched, his arm felt warm and tingly. For just a moment he had felt something impossible, like he could hear her thoughts, feel her emotions. But that was crazy. Humans could not do things like that. Princess Yuna. Her aide, a young Valerian woman named Hyejin, rushed over. What's wrong? What happened? The princess finally seemed to hear her. She blinked and looked around like she was waking up from a dream. I'm fine, she said, but her voice was shaky. Just startled by the drone. Minho had shot down the protest drone with a small energy burst. It fell to the floor with a crash of broken metal. Threat neutralized, he reported. Are you hurt, Your Highness? Ambassador Deho asked, looking worried. If the princess was injured on his watch, the peace talks would be over before they started. No, Princess Yuna said, but she was still looking at Taiho in a strange way. The guard! He moved very quickly to protect me. I was surprised. Taiho felt his face get hot. Just doing my job, Your Highness. But as the group continued walking to the conference room, Taiho could not stop thinking about what had happened when they touched, and he noticed that Princess Yuna kept looking back at him with those purple eyes, like she was trying to solve a puzzle. Her aide Hyejin was whispering quickly in her ear in the Valerian language. Taiho could not understand the words, but the tone sounded urgent and worried. When they reached the conference room, Princess Yuna sat down at the negotiation table with the other diplomats. But Taiho could see that she was not really paying attention to the opening speeches. She kept touching the spot on her arm where his hand had been, and her eyes kept finding his across the room. Something had happened when they touched, something that should not have been possible, and from the look on Princess Yuna's face, she knew it too. The peace talks were just beginning, but Taiho had a feeling that everything was about to change. Princess Yuna could not focus on the peace talks. Her mind kept going back to what had happened in the corridor. When the human guard named Taiho had touched her arm, something inside her body had activated, something that had been sleeping her whole life, the Soulmate sensor. Every Valerian was born with a small device in their brain that could find their perfect life partner. It was part of their advanced technology, part of what made them better than other species. But Yuna's sensor had never worked. For 127 years it had stayed silent until today, until a human touched her. Princess, the humans are asking about trade agreements, Hyejin whispered in her ear during a break in the talks. Yuna blinked and looked around the conference room. Ambassador Deho was waiting for her answer about something, but she had not been listening. I'm sorry, she said. Could you repeat the question? She could see the human security chief standing by the wall. Teho was watching her too, and when their eyes met, she felt that strange warm feeling again. This was impossible. Humans were not advanced enough to connect with Valerian technology. I need to rest, Yuna announced suddenly. We will continue tomorrow. The Valerian ambassador Sungjin looked surprised, but he nodded. Of course, Your Highness. The humans can wait. Taiho watched as Princess Yuna left the conference room with her people. She looked upset about something, but he did not know what. The peace talks had seemed to be going well. The Valerians were demanding a lot, but that was expected. Something's not right, Minho said quietly. The princess looked scared. Maybe she's just tired, Soman suggested. Space travel is hard even for aliens. But Taiho did not think it was tiredness. The princess had been fine until they touched. After that, she had acted like her whole world had changed. In her private quarters, Princess Yuna sat on her bed while Dr. Jiwan ran medical scans on her. The doctor was old and wise, and she had served the royal family for many years. The readings are clear, Dr. Jiwan said, looking at her scanner with confusion. Your soulmate sensor is active. Very active, but that should be impossible. I know what I felt, Yuna said. When he touched me, everything changed. I could feel his emotions, hear his thoughts for just a moment. He's my soulmate. He's human, Hyejin said from across the room. Humans don't have the brain complexity for soulmate bonding. Everyone knows that. Dr. Jiwan frowned at her readings. According to these scans, someone does. The sensor readings are stronger than I've ever seen. If this is real, then everything we know about humans might be wrong. Yuna stood up and walked to the window. Outside, she could see the stars and the distant light of Earth. What if they're not as simple as we thought? What if we've been wrong about them? Princess, Dr. Jiwan said carefully. If this gets out, it could cause serious problems. The Empire believes that Valerians are the most advanced species in the galaxy. If humans can bond with us as equal, I know, Yuna said quietly. It would change everything. Meanwhile, in the station's medical bay, Dr. Yunji was looking at strange readings from Taiho's routine health scan. As security chief, he had to get checked every week to make sure he was healthy and alert. This is weird, Dr. Yunji muttered, looking at the brain scan results. Taiho, have you been having any strange dreams lately? Taiho was putting his shirt back on after the scan. Why do you ask? Your brain activity is different. There are new neural pathways that weren't there last week. It's like your brain is growing new connections. Taiho thought about the strange dreams he had been having since yesterday. Dreams of purple skies and silver cities. Dreams where he could understand alien languages without learning them. I've had some unusual dreams, he admitted. What kind of dreams? It's hard to explain. I see places I've never been, understand things I shouldn't know, and sometimes I feel like someone else is in my head with me. Dr. Yunji saved the scan results and looked worried. I want to run more tests tomorrow. This kind of brain change doesn't happen naturally. That evening, there was a diplomatic dinner in the station's main hall. All the humans and Valerians ate together, trying to build friendship through shared meals. The food was a mix of human and Valerian dishes, though Taiho thought the alien food looked more like art than something to eat. He was standing guard near the wall when Princess Yuna approached him. She had changed out of her formal clothes into something simpler, but she still looked like she was made of starlight. Guard Taiho, she said softly. May I speak with you? Taiho looked around. Nobody seemed to be watching. Of course, Your Highness. When you touched me today, she said, did you feel anything strange? Taiho hesitated. He could get in trouble for talking about such things with alien royalty. But her purple eyes looked so hopeful that he decided to tell the truth. Yes, I felt like I could hear your thoughts for a moment. And I've been having strange dreams since then. Princess Yuna's face lit up with relief. So it wasn't just me. You felt it too. What was it? Taiho asked. Princess Yuna looked around to make sure nobody was listening. We have technology in our brains that helps us find our life partners, our soulmates. Mine has never worked before, but when you touched me, it activated. That's impossible, Taiho said. I'm human. We don't have that kind of technology. I know it's impossible, Princess Yuna said. But it happened. And if it's real, then humans might be much more advanced than we thought. Across the room, Ambassador Shungjin was watching them talk. He did not look happy about it. Your Highness, a voice said behind them, is this human bothering you? They turned to see a tall Valerian with gold eyes and military decorations. This was General Sunho, the head of Princess Yuna's security team. No, Princess Yuna said quickly. We were just talking about station security. General Sunho looked at Taiho with dislike. Humans should know their place. They should not bother Valerian royalty with casual conversation. Taiho felt anger rise in his chest, but he kept his voice calm. I was answering the princess's questions about our security procedures. I'm sure you were, General Sunho said with a cold smile. Just remember, human, that you are here to serve, not to socialize. Princess Yuna looked embarrassed by her general's rudeness, but she could not argue with him in public. Thank you for the information, Guard Taiho, she said formally, and walked away with General Sunho. But as she left, she looked back at Taiho one more time. In that look, he saw something that made his heart beat faster. She believed what had happened between them was real, and so did he. Later that night, Taiho lay in his bed thinking about everything. The strange dreams, the brain scans, the feeling he had when he touched the princess. Something was happening to him, something the doctors could not explain. In her quarters, Princess Yuna was having the same thoughts. She stared at the ceiling and wondered what it would mean if humans really could bond with Valerians. Her people thought they were the most advanced species in the galaxy. They thought humans were like smart animals who had learned to use tools. But what if they were wrong? What if humans were just different, not lesser? And what if she had just found her soulmate among a species her people looked down on? The thought should have scared her. Instead, it filled her with a strange excitement. Maybe the universe had more surprises than anyone expected. Princess Yuna could not sleep. She kept thinking about what Dr. Jiwan had said about the soulmate sensor readings. If they were real, then she needed to find out more about human brain capacity. But that kind of research was not easy to do without people asking questions. Late at night, when everyone else was sleeping, Yuna used her royal access codes to search the Valerian Empire's scientific databases. What she found made her feel sick. There were research files about humans that had been hidden from the public. Studies done years ago when humans were first discovered. The research showed that human brains had the potential for bioneural connections, just like Valerians. But these studies had been buried and forgotten. Dr. Minsu had been the lead researcher on the project. His report said that humans might actually be more adaptable than Valerians, not less advanced. But his funding had been cut, and his research had been classified as not important to imperial interests. Yuna realized that her government had hidden the truth about humans on purpose. It was easier to treat them as lesser beings than to admit they might be equals. "This is treason," she whispered to herself as she read the secret files, but she kept reading anyway. Meanwhile, Taiho was having the strangest night of his life. His dreams were more vivid than ever. He saw Valerian cities made of crystal and light. He understood Valerian technology just by looking at it, and most strange of all, he could feel Princess Yuna's emotions even while he slept. She was sad and worried about something. He could feel her fear and confusion as clearly as if they were his own emotions. He woke up in the middle of the night with his heart pounding. The connection between them was getting stronger, not weaker, and that should have been impossible. Taiho got dressed and went to find Dr. Unji. The medical bay was quiet at night, but he knew she often worked late on research. "Doctor," he said when he found her studying brain scans at her desk, "I need to ask you something." Dr. Unji looked up from her work. "Can't sleep? The brain changes might be affecting your sleep patterns." "It's more than that," Taiho said. "I think I'm connected to Princess Yuna somehow. I can feel what she's feeling even when she's not near me." Dr. Unji stared at him. "That's impossible. Humans don't have telepathic abilities." "I know it's impossible," Taiho said, "but it's happening anyway." Dr. Unji pulled up his latest brain scans on her computer. "Look at this," she said, pointing to areas of bright activity. "These neural pathways are completely new. They shouldn't exist in a human brain. But here they are, and they're growing stronger every day. What does it mean?" "I don't know," Dr. Unji admitted. "But I think we need to run more tests. And maybe we need to talk to the Valerian medical team." "No," Taiho said quickly. "They already think we're inferior. If they find out I'm having strange brain changes, they might think we're dangerous." Dr. Unji nodded. "You're right, but we need to understand what's happening to you." The next morning, the peace talks continued, but there was tension in the air that had not been there before. Ambassador Sungjin was making more and more unreasonable demands. He wanted humans to give up control of 3 star systems. He wanted Earth to send tribute to the Valerian Empire every year. He was acting like humans should be grateful just to be allowed to exist. Ambassador Deho was getting frustrated. "These terms are not acceptable," he said firmly. "We're here to negotiate a peace treaty between equals, not to surrender our independence." "Equals." General Sunho laughed. "Humans are barely more advanced than animals. You should be grateful that the Empire is willing to protect you at all." Taiho felt anger burn in his chest. He had to stay professional, but it was getting harder to listen to the Valerians insult his people. Princess Yuna looked uncomfortable with her people's attitude, but she could not speak against them in public. As royalty, she had to support the Empire's position, even if she disagreed with it. During a break in the talks, Taiho was walking through the station corridors when he almost ran into Princess Yuna. She was alone, which was unusual. "Normally she was surrounded by guards and aides, Your Highness," he said, stepping back politely. "Guard Taiho," she said. "I was hoping to see you. I need to tell you something important." She looked around to make sure they were alone, then pulled a small data pad from her robes. "I found research about humans in our databases. Hidden research that proves your people are much more capable than we've been told." Taiho looked at the data pad. Even though it was written in Valerian symbols, somehow he could understand it. The neural pathways in his brain were translating the alien language automatically. "This says humans have the same potential for bio-neural development as Valerians," he said, surprised that he could read it. "Yes," Princess Yuna said, "and the fact that you can read that proves it. Your brain is adapting to interface with our technology." Why was this research hidden? Princess Yuna's face was sad. "Because it's easier to control other species if you believe they're inferior. If the Empire admitted that humans were equals, they'd have to treat you as equals." Taiho felt a mix of emotions, anger at being lied about, but also hope that maybe humans and Valerians could truly understand each other. "There's something else," Princess Yuna said. "I can feel your emotions now just like you can feel mine. The connection is getting stronger." "I know," Taiho said. "I felt you were upset last night, even in my dreams." They stood close together in the empty corridor, and Taiho could feel the warmth of the connection between them. It was not just physical attraction, though that was there too. It was something deeper, like their minds were meant to fit together. "What do we do now?" Taiho asked. "I don't know," Princess Yuna admitted. "If this gets out, it could cause a revolution in the Empire. Or it could start a war. Footsteps echoed in the corridor. General Sunho appeared around the corner with 2 Valerian guards. "Princess," he said coldly, "you should not be alone with humans. It's not safe." "I was just asking about station security procedures," Princess Yuna said, but her voice sounded guilty. General Sunho's golden eyes narrowed as he looked at Taiho. "This human seems to be around you a lot, Princess. Perhaps he should be reassigned to other duties." "That's not necessary," Princess Yuna said quickly. "I think it is," General Sunho said. "Humans need to remember their place." Taiho felt the connection with Princess Yuna flare with shared anger and frustration. For a moment, their emotions were so mixed together that he could not tell which feelings were his and which were hers. General Sunho saw the look that passed between them and his expression became dangerous. "Interesting," he said slowly. "Very interesting." He turned and walked away, but Taiho could tell that the general suspected something, and that could be very bad for both of them. "We have to be more careful," Princess Yuna whispered. "I know," Taiho said, "but this connection isn't going away. It's getting stronger every day." "I know," she said sadly, "and I don't know how to stop it. Or if I even want to." That afternoon, Somin came to Taiho with disturbing news. "Sir, I've been monitoring Valerian communications. General Sunho sent a coded message to the Empire this morning. I couldn't break the encryption, but the transmission was tagged as urgent security matter." Taiho felt his stomach sink. If General Sunho was reporting back to the Empire about him and Princess Yuna, things were about to get much more complicated. "Keep monitoring their communications," he told Somin. "And let me know if you see anything else unusual." As night fell over the space station, Taiho realized that their secret was becoming harder to keep. The connection between him and Princess Yuna was growing stronger, and other people were starting to notice. Soon, they would have to make a choice. They could try to hide what was happening and hope nobody found out, or they could face the truth and deal with whatever consequences came. But one thing was becoming clear. The universe was much stranger and more connected than anyone had imagined. And sometimes the impossible could become possible after all. The trouble started 3 days later during the morning peace talks. General Sunho walked into the conference room with 6 armed Valerian soldiers. Their faces were hard and cold, and they moved like they were ready for a fight. "What is the meaning of this?" Ambassador Daiho asked, standing up from the negotiation table. "We have discovered a security threat," General Sunho announced. "The human guard named Taiho has been using illegal technology to manipulate Princess Yuna." Taiho felt his blood turn to ice. He was standing at his usual position by the wall, but now all the Valerian soldiers were looking at him. "That's ridiculous," Ambassador Daiho said. "Our guards are thoroughly screened. They don't have any illegal technology." "Then explain this," General Sunho said, holding up a small device. "This is a neural interfacing device found in the human's quarters. It's designed to mimic Valerian brain patterns and create false telepathic connections." Taiho stared at the device in shock. He had never seen it before in his life. "That's not mine," he said. "I've never seen that device before." "Of course you would deny it," General Sunho said with a cold smile. "Humans are known for their dishonesty." Princess Yuna stood up from her chair, her purple eyes blazing with anger. "General Sunho, I demand proof of these accusations. You cannot arrest someone based on a device that could have been planted." "Your Highness," General Sunho said, "I understand that this human has been manipulating your emotions. That's what makes this technology so dangerous. It makes the victim defend their attacker." "Nobody is manipulating me," Princess Yuna said firmly, "and I know the connection between us is real." The words hung in the air like a bomb about to explode. Everyone in the room stared at her in shock. "Connection?" Ambassador Shungjin said slowly. "What connection?" Princess Yuna realized she had said too much, but it was too late to take it back. "Taiho and I have formed a soulmate bond. My bioneural sensor activated when we first touched." The room erupted in chaos. The human diplomats looked confused and worried. The Valerian diplomats looked horrified and angry. General Sunho smiled like his plan was working perfectly. "Impossible," Dr. G1 said, stepping forward. "Humans don't have the neural complexity for soulmate bonding." "That's what we all believed," Princess Yuna said. "But we were wrong. The bond is real, and it proves that humans are much more advanced than we thought." General Sunho moved toward Taiho with his soldiers. "This proves that the human is using illegal technology. No natural bond is possible between our species. Wait, Princess Yuna said, moving to block their path. If you want proof that the bond is natural, then test us. Run every scan you want. You'll find that neither of us has any artificial devices. Your Highness, General Sunho said dangerously, you are not thinking clearly. This human has corrupted your judgment. The only corruption here is your prejudice, Princess Yuna shot back. You can't accept that humans might be our equals. Ambassador. Deho stepped between the Valarians and Teho. No, one will be arrested without proper evidence and a fair investigation. This is not a human court, General Sunho said. Valarian law applies to Valarian citizens, and the princess is coming with us. No, Princess Yuna said firmly. I am not going anywhere until the truth is proven. The standoff was tense and dangerous. Teho could feel Princess Yuna's determination through their bond, but he could also feel her fear. If she defied the general openly, it could be seen as treason against the Empire. I have an idea, Dr. Yunji said, stepping into the room. I've been studying the brain changes in Taiho. If you want proof that this is natural, let me run tests on both of them. Real scientific tests that can't be faked. Human science cannot be trusted, General Sunho said. Then use Valarian science, Dr. Jiwan said unexpectedly. I'll work with the human doctor. If the bond is artificial, our equipment will detect it immediately. General Sunho looked frustrated. He had expected to arrest Taiho and end this problem quickly. Now he was being asked to prove his case with science. Fine, he said finally. But when the tests prove the human is using illegal technology, he will face the full punishment of Valarian law. And when the tests prove the bond is natural, Princess Yuna said, you will accept that humans are capable of true neural evolution. The test took hours. Dr. Jiwan and Dr. Yunji worked together, running every possible scan on both Taiho and Princess Yuna. They checked for artificial devices, foreign chemicals, and any kind of technological interference. Taiho lay in the medical scanner, feeling nervous but also hopeful. He knew the bond was real. He had felt it growing stronger every day. But he also knew that proving it might change everything for both their species. Through the bond, he could feel Princess Yuna's emotions from the other scanner in the next room. She was scared but determined. She believed in what they had found together, even if it meant going against her whole culture. This is impossible, Dr. Jiwan muttered as she looked at the readings. The neural pathways are completely natural. There's no artificial technology anywhere. The human brain shows advanced bioneural development, Dr. Yunji reported. It's like his brain has evolved new connections in just a few days. And the princess? Ambassador Xiungjin asked. Her soulmate sensor shows the strongest readings I've ever measured, Dr. Jiwan said. This is definitely a true bond, not an artificial one. General Sunho looked at the test results with anger and disbelief. These results must be wrong. Run the tests again. I've run them 3 times, Dr. Jiwan said. The results are always the same. This is a natural soulmate bond between 2 compatible beings. But he's human, General Sunho said, as if that explained everything. Yes, Dr. Jiwan said quietly, and that means we've been wrong about humans. Very wrong. The news spread through the space station like wildfire. Within hours, everyone knew that a Valarian princess had bonded with a human guard. The reactions were intense and divided. Some humans were excited. If Princess Yuna could bond with Taiho, it meant humans were much more capable than anyone had realized. It meant they deserved respect and equal treatment. Other humans were worried. The Valarians might see this as a threat and decide to destroy humanity, rather than accept them as equals. The Valarian reactions were even more extreme. Some of the younger, more progressive Valarians were fascinated by the scientific implications. If humans could truly bond with Valarians, it opened up amazing possibilities for cooperation and advancement. But the older, more traditional Valarians were horrified. Their entire society was built on the idea that Valarians were the most advanced species in the galaxy. If humans were equally advanced, it challenged everything they believed about themselves. This changes everything, Ambassador Deho said privately to Taiho later that evening. The peace negotiations, the relationship between our species, everything. I know, Taiho said. I never meant for this to happen. Maybe it needed to happen, Ambassador Deho said thoughtfully. Maybe the universe has been waiting for someone like you to show both our species what's really possible. But while some people celebrated the discovery, Others were making plans to stop it. In a secret meeting that night, General Sunho contacted the Valerian homeworld. "The situation is worse than we thought," he reported to the High Command. "The princess has been completely corrupted by human influence. If this spreads, it could destroy our entire social order. What do you recommend?" came the reply from the Empire. "Immediate extraction of the princess and termination of the human threat. We cannot allow this infection to spread." "Authorized," the voice said. "Protect the Empire at all costs." General Sunho smiled coldly as he ended the transmission. Tomorrow, this problem would be solved permanently. The princess would be taken back to Valerian space for medical treatment, and the human who had corrupted her would have an unfortunate accident. But General Sunho had made one mistake. He had underestimated the bond between Taiho and Princess Yuna. Through their connection, she felt his intention to hurt Taiho, and she had no intention of letting that happen. The battle for the future of both species was about to begin. Princess Yuna woke up in the middle of the night feeling cold fear that was not her own. Through the bond, she could sense danger coming for Taiho. She sat up in her bed and reached out with her mind, trying to understand what she was feeling. Taiho was dreaming, but his dreams were full of warning and threat. Someone was planning to hurt him. Someone close. Yuna got dressed quickly and left her quarters. She had to find Taiho and warn him, but as she walked through the station corridors, she ran into Hyejin. "Princess, where are you going?" her aide asked. "It's very late." "I have to find Taiho," Yuna said. "He's in danger. How do you know that?" "I can feel it through our bond. Someone is planning to hurt him." Hyejin looked worried. "Princess, General Sunho ordered all Valerians to stay in their quarters tonight. He said there might be security issues." A chill ran down Yuna's spine. If General Sunho was planning something against Taiho, then keeping all the Valerians locked up would make it easier. "I have to warn him," Yuna said, and started running down the corridor. Meanwhile, Taiho was doing his late-night security rounds when Minho's voice came through his earpiece. "Sir, I'm seeing movement in the restricted sections. Armed figures, probably Valerian military." "How many?" Taiho asked, immediately alert. "At least 6. They're moving toward the human quarters. This doesn't look like a normal patrol." Taiho felt danger through his bond with Princess Yuna. She was trying to warn him about something, but the feeling was urgent and desperate. "Solman, what's your status?" he asked through the comm. "Sir, the Valerian ship just powered up its weapon systems, and I'm detecting strange jamming signals. They're trying to block our communications with Earth." Taiho realized what was happening. General Sunho was planning to eliminate him and take Princess Yuna back to Valerian space by force. And if they were jamming communications, it meant they didn't want anyone to know what really happened. "All security teams, this is Taiho. We have a hostile situation. Valerian forces are moving against us. This is not a drill." The next few minutes were chaos. Valerian soldiers moved through the station, trying to capture key areas. But the human security teams had trained for this kind of situation, and they fought back hard. Taiho ran toward the main command center, where he knew General Sunho would be trying to take control of the station. He had to stop this before it turned into a full battle that would destroy any chance of peace. He found General Sunho in the command center with 4 Valerian soldiers. They had forced the human technicians to the ground and were trying to access the station's main computer. "Let them go," Taiho said, pointing his weapon at the general. General Sunho turned around with a cold smile. "The corrupted human. You've caused enough trouble. It's time to end this." "The only thing ending is your illegal attack on a neutral station," Taiho said. "Illegal?" General Sunho laughed. "We're protecting the Empire from a dangerous infection. You've corrupted our princess with your primitive human tricks." "There are no tricks," Taiho said. "The bond is real and you know it. Even if it is real, it's still an abomination. Valerians don't mate with animals." Rage flared through Taiho, but he kept control of himself. Through the bond, he could feel Princess Yuna getting closer. She was coming to help him. "Stand down, General," Taiho said. "This doesn't have to end in violence." "You're right," General Sunho said. "It doesn't." He signaled to his soldiers and they raised their weapons. But before they could fire, Princess Yuna burst into the command center. "Stop," she commanded in a voice full of royal authority. "I order you to stand down immediately." General Sunho looked frustrated. "Princess, you're not thinking clearly. This human has corrupted your mind." "My mind is perfectly clear," Princess Yuna said, "and I'm ordering you to stop this attack immediately." I'm sorry, Princess, but I have orders from the Emperor himself. You're coming back with us for medical treatment. I'm not going anywhere, Princess Yuna said firmly. And neither is Taiho. She moved to stand beside Taiho, and the moment they were close together, something amazing happened. The bond between them flared with incredible power, and suddenly Taiho could interface directly with the station's Valerian technology. Impossible, General Sunho breathed. Taiho reached out with his mind and accessed the station's communication system. He sent a message directly to the Valerian Empire, bypassing all of General Sunho's blocks and jamming. The message contained all of Dr. Jiwan's test results, all of the hidden research about human neural capacity, and a complete record of General Sunho's illegal attack on the neutral station. Within minutes, responses started coming back from Valerian space. Progressive Valerian scientists were amazed by the proof of human neural evolution. Valerian politicians were outraged by General Sunho's unauthorized military action. And then came a message that changed everything. It was from Emperor Janho himself, Princess Yuna's father. General Sunho, you will cease all hostile actions immediately. Princess Yuna, return to Valerian space with your bonded partner for full scientific study. If the bond is proven natural and beneficial, the Empire will officially recognize human neural equality. General Sunho stared at the message in shock. His plan had completely backfired. Father, Princess Yuna said, speaking into the communication system, the bond is real and it's wonderful. Taiho and I can do things together that neither of our species can do alone. This isn't just about us. It's about the future of both our peoples. I understand, daughter, the Emperor replied. Come home and show us what you've discovered. 6 months later, Taiho stood on the crystal balcony of the royal palace on the Valerian homeworld. He was wearing formal clothes that mixed human and Valerian styles, and beside him stood Princess Yuna in a beautiful white dress that seemed to be made of starlight. Today was their bonding ceremony, the first official marriage between a human and a Valerian. Representatives from both species had come to witness this historic moment. The month since the incident on Harmony's Edge had been amazing and difficult. Taiho and Yuna had undergone extensive testing that proved their bond was not only natural but beneficial to both species. When they worked together, they could solve problems and create technologies that neither species could manage alone. The discovery had sparked a revolution in both human and Valerian society. Progressive groups on both sides celebrated the proof that the species were equals. Conservative groups resisted, but they could not argue with the scientific evidence. Dr. Jiwon and Dr. Yunji had become famous for their research into human-Valerian neural compatibility. They had discovered that several other bonded pairs existed among the diplomats and workers who had spent time together. Ambassador Daeho and Ambassador Songjin had negotiated a new treaty based on true equality between the species. Human colonies would join the Valerian Empire as equal partners, not subjects. Are you ready? Princess Yuna asked, taking Taiho's hand. I've been ready since the first moment I touched you, Taiho said. They walked together into the great hall where hundreds of beings from both species waited to witness their bonding. Minho and Soman were there wearing formal human military dress. Heejin was there in beautiful Valerian robes. Even General Sunho was there, though he looked like he had eaten something sour. Emperor Junho performed the ceremony himself, speaking in both languages about the importance of unity and understanding between different peoples. Today, the Emperor said, we celebrate not just the bonding of two individuals, but the bonding of two species who will create a better future together. As Taiho and Yuna exchanged vows, their bond flared with happiness and love that everyone in the room could feel. Some of the Valerians gasped as they experienced human emotions for the first time. Some of the humans were amazed to feel the depth and complexity of Valerian thoughts. After the ceremony, there was a great celebration with food and music from both cultures. Taiho found himself talking easily with Valerian scientists about new technologies they could develop together. Yuna laughed with human diplomats about the cultural exchanges they were planning. But the best moment came when they were alone on the balcony again, looking up at the purple sky of the Valerian homeworld. What do you think will happen now? Taiho asked. I think we're going to change the galaxy, Yuna said with a smile. One bond at a time. Above them, the stars shone down on two species who had learned that being different didn't mean being unequal. And in the years that followed, humans and Valerians would explore the universe together. combining their strengths to achieve things that neither could have imagined alone. The Soulmate sensor that had started everything was just the beginning. Love, it turned out, was the most advanced technology of all.